This is my 2014 Ascend fs12t. Here's some upgrades that I've made to it that I like to share with you guys. I bought this feel-free gravity seat. It comes up about 10 inches. I just wanted the extra height out of a chair. There was nothing wrong with the factory one. But I made a little cradle out of some PVC pipe and a little latch to help hold it down while I'm making adjustments. So yeah, it's pretty comfortable. It's not bad, and all you gotta do is pull on the strap to go up or down. So it sits down there pretty flush. I did have to weld in some new bushings here. That way I can get the bolts recessed down in, because there just wasn't enough clearance between here. This is my Humminbird fishing buddy. I cut the shaft all up on it. It was just a little portable unit, but now I got it mounted down in here. That way it'll stay put. And then I split the shaft in half, and I was able to mount it on this little camber ball joint right here. The problem that I had before, that it would hit a log or rock or whatever, and then it would twist and try to break them out. So I put it on this ball joint right here. That way if it does hit something, it'll still be able to swing up out of the way. Plus I'll be able to store it real easy. Just tighten it up here. Store it up against the kayak for hauling it or whatever I need to do. This was in the original fishing rod holder mount, which was a pain because you would always hit it with your paddle. It just sat up too high. I did see on the newer models they did move it up here, so that's pretty convenient. I did put another fishing rod holder right here in the center, so that's more where I like things to have, right in the middle of me. That way I can still paddle. Here's the foot pegs on it. There's actually locks that that are retaining these adjustment spots here. You're actually able to pop the lock out. And then I ran the cable to steer my trolling motor. Have a tube and a plate here with some just like a bicycle brake line housing. It runs all the way to the back. But the tracks slide pretty easy, good enough. So once you push on one side, it'll pull back the other. Everybody's seen these paddles from Dick's Sporting Goods, 30-40 bucks or so. They're pretty flimsy. They break in the center on the adjustment hole. So I decided to make my own, but use the existing paddles. I made it out of titanium, so it shouldn't be a problem. I also made it longer, that way since I'm sitting up a little bit higher, and I'll have enough reach with my paddle. Also added a anchor trolley. See, it comes all the way to the back here. If I was to do this again, don't be afraid to go ahead and attach it as high as you can. Here's my trolling motor set up, and this is the battery that I bought for it. If you actually look at the locking pin here, I put a taper on it. That way if I do get hung up on something, a rock, log, whatever, just shallow ground, it'll go ahead and just pop up. That way I won't have to worry about it. I adjusted the spring in here to get it to where it'll stay put when the motor's on and everything. It just took some trial in there. But here's the mount. You can see I got some stainless plate that comes down. It's still pretty kind of flimsy in here, which is okay. I don't mind it flexing. I just wanted to keep all the pressure off the kayak itself. But I actually installed it with these weld nuts, which are pretty neat. It's just a little rubber plug, and it's got a 1/4 thread in it. And when you put a screw in it, it'll just kind of flange out. See there, so it'll lock it in place. Makes it rubber, that way it'll absorb some shock if it needs to. I just didn't want to crack my kayak. Here's the wires for the switch that go up front, and then the cables here. I actually have another cable on the bottom of that lock. That way I can release it from the front. That way if it does get hung up, or if I'm in shallow water or whatever. So I've got a rope that comes up front here. And that way, if I do see some shallow water, I can go ahead and pull it up if I need to, or I can let it all the way down. You can also push the foot pedals up, and that'll help pull it up, and then you can just release the lock to hold it in the up position. But that's my setup. I do have a switch up here. This was just temporary, something I had laying around, 2-speed. Oh, yeah, it just broke. So, but I do want to get another switch, a toggle switch like that, and a push button. That way I can just hit something with my foot if I want to make an adjustment on my position. So this was just temporary. You want to get a waterproof switch anyway, so that was just to try things out. But oh yeah, here's another thing.